This video is for business leaders who recognize that there's two sides to the coin of grittiness and who should acknowledge that all their employees are humans with lives of their own outside of their work. Watch to the end of this video for a video specifically addressing the idea of not only the necessity of sleep, but some of the critical details of how that sleep should take place. I specifically focused that episode on creativity, but it really underlies every single cognitive function that you and your team experience. If you don't get sufficient or proper sleep, everything else is going to circle the drain. So even though today's lead gift will be about how to grow your grit, I'm going to talk about the flip side of growing grit today, and that is that you need a recovery time. Just like when you're talking about brain training and making it challenging, oftentimes the research has shown too that those who are top performing in their training who do that take a lot of frequent naps in addition to having a full proper night's sleep as consistently as possible. And typically also really good health, really good sleep hygiene, which I have in some of their episodes. I may put in the links, but today I'm feeling really lazy because I am indeed officially burned out after having done a video a day every day for 9 months, almost 10 months. But now I've decided I need to suspend that because of health, sanity, and burnout. So I will be going to one video a week, maybe more, but in particular, one video a week as sort of my commitment, and then focusing on those other things and a lot of things that have been neglected because doing a video a day is actually damn hard, which was the whole point of me doing the demonstration as far as I did. But now that it's compromising my health and sleep, that's when I cut the line, because what are you doing your leadership for? What are you doing your business for? So your life and your health sucks, or so that you can enjoy a life that's worth living, that also gives you enough income and enough meaning and enough contribution to society. I can't make that decision for you, but for me, it's the former. I work very hard so that I can live well. And since that's now been compromised, screw it. I'm going to prioritize my health over the business, but just continue the business with more priority on recovery. So essentially, this is something that has sometimes been called hustle culture. And there's even one phrase out there, or it's actually looked up quite a bit on YouTube or on Google, which is also called hustle culture is toxic. And I'd have to agree with that. It's not that it's bad to hustle. It's just hustling to excess is like doing anything to excess. When you're talking about conditioning your muscles or your fitness or any type of excellence, recovery is not only fundamental, but oftentimes in the majority. When you work out for an hour or maybe 2, or if you're really extreme, 3 hours, but then you probably spend the rest of the day resting and recovering, or 2 days or 3 days or 8 days, depending how you do your training. This isn't a training episode, so we're not going to get into that other than to say that intense, challenging work, whether it be mental or physical, will not lead to increased mental or physical strength unless there's a recuperative period to allow your brain and or your muscles to recover sufficiently to actually get stronger. So since that's what's happened to me, that's why I'm going to roll back to one a week. So burnout is a real thing. I've experienced it, or am experiencing it now for the first time, and how it's messed up my sleep. And that's why we're doing this. So for you and for your business and your leadership, remember that for your employees, that grow their grit by all means, but give them enough time and enough lifestyle, enough work-life balance, as it were, or give them the opportunity to have their work from home job if that you're able to do that, and to not make your work culture, not make your growing grit culture into burnout culture, which is not a good thing. So all the work from home that was made possible through COVID has demonstrated, and most of the stuff I found has demonstrated quite clearly in the numbers that, in fact, work from home and remote work has actually had a positive effect on productivity and people's work-life balance and satisfaction about their job and their performance. Just because they're at home doesn't mean they're not doing their work. And what this is especially critical for is if you want to maintain and attract talent. If people say, my job sucks because all I ever do is work, I don't have a life outside of work, I'm too tired, that's going to create a lot of employee turnover and a lot of burnout at work. These are the kind of things that can then lead to what has been called burnout syndrome, which I hadn't heard, but I suppose you could say I have it, though I'm taking immediate action to recover from it. And this will kill one of the biggest things that Gallup has shown over and over, especially in recent years, and that is the reduction or the excessive lack of proper employee engagement. Well, if people aren't alert, if they feel crappy, they aren't going to be engaged. So not only for the retention of employees, but the attraction of employees, make sure you do for your people what I am doing for myself because I have the power to do it. And that is to back off an excessively challenging work schedule to make priority for health and recovery. So that's it for this episode of Crush It Club 288, which is actually called Burnout, Work-Life Balance. I'll put the recommended video, which I've already mentioned, which is called Inspired by Sleep, right there and in the description. That's it for this episode, other than to say, please download my guide. I will put a link in the description to my Grow Grit guide, which is a free downloadable gift to you to help you learn how to grow grit. Just remember that along with grit, along with anything that has challenge to it, it needs a recovery or refractory period to allow that to be cemented and to turn into anything that is sustainable. So that's it. One more time for Crush It Club 288, Burnout, Work-Life Balance. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.